So I guess we should fill Peter in on the door emergency we had.
What?
Door emergency.
The door emergency.
I'm sure he listened to the podcast from last week, so he knows exactly what's going on.
We didn't record last week.
From 2 weeks ago.
How would he know about the door emergency when it happened last week?
I thought we talked about it, at least in person.
We talked to this one about it. Remember, because I called him on FaceTime.
That's what it was.
So you see what happened, Peter, was...
Stephanie broke the door.
I didn't break shit.
The door broke on Stephanie's watch.
So last Saturday, not the one that just happened, the one before that, I was going to go... I don't know if I was leaving or if I was just going into the garage, but I went to like go out and like the door wouldn't close. And I was like, what the fuck? So then I got it to where I could kind of close it, but you couldn't lock it. And finally when Zach got home, he was able to close it and lock it, but then we couldn't open it. So it was like a whole ordeal.
I did get to walk around the house and roadhouse the door in.
So on Sunday, he took the door off the hinges to see what was up and discovered that because the door was probably originally to the house, and since this was a rental property, it was never really taken good care of, the bottom of the door was basically rotting out. And so the nails were hanging, and they were catching on the, what is that called?
It's the door jamb, basically.
The door jamb, and that's why we were having problems. And I was like, oh, God, I don't want to replace the door. That's expensive. So he was like, we don't need to replace the door. We just need to go get weather stripping and we can fix this. And I was like, okay, cool. So we went to Home Depot because we still had a Home Depot gift card. And Home Depot didn't really have what he wanted. So we decided, fuck it, we're going to buy a brand new door. Doors are $400 in case you're wondering.
That seems a bit much for a door.
That's a cheap one.
Yeah, like you could get like a cheaper one, but it was like not real sturdy and it was kind of shittily made. And we were like, we want our front door to be secure, thank you.
No, we didn't spend $2,300 on a door, which is easy to do as well.
That's true. Those were the other options. So it was a pre-hung door, which means it came with a frame already. And I said, hey, are we going to have to tear the whole front entry out in order to put this in? Because it looks like it comes with its own thing. And he was like, no, we just need to take this door off this frame and put it on our old frame. And I said, okay, I believe you.
I did some measurements. It should have worked.
And then I said, and then my next question was, we took your little 4-door sedan. How are we going to fit this door in your car? And he goes, no problem. We'll just fold my seats down. It'll be all right. So we get out to the parking lot, and we go to put the door in the trunk, and he's got some weird little angly thing that is preventing the door from going in.
So the door is exactly 36 inches wide, right? Well, with the frame, it was 37.5 inches wide. You know how wide the space is in the back of my car there that you can fit things through?
37.
37. By half an inch, god damn it. So we strapped it to the top of my car. It was lots of fun.
And we drove home. And then we get home.
It was secure.
And now's where the real fun begins. So instead of looking at the door and the frame and where the holes are on the new door compared to where they are on the old door, he was so convinced that it would just fit that we took all the hardware off the old door and put it on the new door.
Here, in my defense, she didn't once say any of these concerns that she is now reflecting that she was super smart and thought of these things. This is hindsight. This is hindsight for her as well. So I'm just saying I'm the only idiot in this situation. I was not given any advice at the time of.
First of all, I don't do home projects. I don't do DIY. I can barely put together IKEA furniture. He has done many a construction job with his father.
And again,
so I
wasn't claiming that you needed to know. I'm just saying the way that you're stating the story makes it seem like you were telling me these things at the time of, and I was dismissing you.
No,
No,
I
that
did
did
not
not happen.
tell him these things.
All right, thank you. I just wanted to clarify.
So we take all the hardware
I am in the wrong.
off the old door and we put it on the new door, and then we go to take the old door out the frame, and while we're doing that, we discover that some of the screws are strips in one of the hinges, so he just breaks the motherfucking hinge, because fuck it, we don't need it, right?
I couldn't get off the door. There was no other way to get it out. I had to do it.
So then, it gets better. It gets better. So then we go to put the new door in the old frame, and guess what? Nothing lines the fuck up. Not the little catch thing that like puts it in place. Not the little hole where you would lock the deadbolt. Not even the fucking hinges. And
Actually,
we're like,
the hinges were pretty close.
We're like, well, fuck.
2 of them were correct. But the
And I
third
was like,
not.
okay, well, what do we do now? Like, we have, like, what are our options? Like, you either put this in all fucking wrong and our door's fucked for a little while until you can do this right, or we put the old door back up, or we just kind of figure this the fuck out and figure out how we're going to rip this whole entry out. And he's like, I don't know. I don't know how to do this. I've never done this. I've never had to do this part of this particular project. And I'm like, oh, great. So in a panic, the first thing I do is call my uncle, because I'm like, he's replaced a door before, and he's done it recently, so he probably remembers how to do it. And his answer was, no, I hired people to do that. And I'm like, then you are useless to me. But my uncle likes to talk, so then he wouldn't get the fuck off the phone with me. And I'm like, okay, I got it. Yep, thanks. Okay, well, I can't really hire anyone now. That's kind of not an option at this point in time. We're too far down this rabbit hole. And then he's like, I just need someone to help me. So then I call Tom. And I'm like, Tom, what are you doing? We're having an emergency. We need your help. And he's like, I'm busy. And I'm like, fuck. And he's like, what's your problem? So then I FaceTime the problem. And he's like, yeah, you're going to have to rip that whole bitch out. And we're like, great. And he's like, I mean, I can help you, just not today. And I'm like, that doesn't help us with the big hole that is now in the front of my house. And then it kind of starts to drizzle, which puts both of us into an even bigger panic. So then I call my dad, and I'm like practically in tears, and apparently I sounded way more panicky than I was. Probably something like I sound now. I don't even know. But then I'm like, Daddy.
No, you sounded exactly as panicky as you were. You were too panicky, but you sounded exactly as panicky as you were.
And I explained the situation to my dad, and he's like, well, just get something up for tonight. I will leave first thing in the morning, and I'll be there tomorrow. And I said, great. So I got off the phone, and I said, okay, B, Daddy will be here tomorrow. What do you want to do? And he's like, well, we got to put the old door back on. And then he goes, fuck, I broke the motherfucking hinge. And I go, you sure did. So then we take the hardware, we put it back on the old door, and then we take the new hinges off the new door and we put them on the old door. And then this door is motherfucking heavy. And he's like, how are you with a drill? And I went, not great, but I'll try. So he's trying to manhandle this door so I can just get some screws in so we can get this attached to something. And it did not go really well. There was a lot of cussing. There was a lot of crying. We kind of yelled at each other. It's fine. We got one screw in each hinge and said, fuck it. Don't no one touch the motherfucking door until my dad gets here. That was part 1.
I mean, the rest of the part was really easy. We just put it in the door, but...
So yeah, my dad came and he put in the door and everything was fine. So part 2 happened this past weekend because I decided that we were going to paint the door because the white was just really white. It was really white. And I'm like, I really like the old red. So we're like, okay, we're going to go get paint. So we went and got paint. And we can't put the inside needed to be repainted anyway from where they ripped the trim out. But I can't put the ADT security tag thing on there until it gets repainted. Because there's no point in putting it up to rip it back off, like, whatever. So over the weekend, I was like, you know what? I can do this. I know how to paint things. I'm not good at painting. We're going to try this.
Yeah, so she chose to paint the outside of the door instead of the easy part, which is the inside. But she had already halfway through the project when she called me and said, hey, look what I'm doing. I'm having problems.
Okay, that's not what happened. Okay, so...
That's basically what happened.
I decided I was going to paint the outside first because in my head, I paint the outside first. That way I don't have to, like, when I go to do the inside, that part will already be done. And if it starts getting dark while I'm doing the inside, I don't have to worry about the cats. They'll be fine. So I start doing the outside. I taped everything beautifully. The tape job, chef's kiss.
Not what it looks like.
Did paint get on the fucking window? And did it get on the fucking hardware? No? Okay. So, I do the first coat.
You saw it, right? Yeah, I'm just making sure. I've just been letting it go. Tom.
Did I get it on the window or the hardware?
You did not get it on the window or the hardware.
Okay.
That is technically correct. But I wouldn't go so far as to say tape job was perfect. Chef's kiss.
So, I do the first coat. And I am immediately in a panic because it looks like fucking shit.
She didn't let it dry at all, of course.
I did
and when
too.
she's freaking
First
out.
of all, I did let it
Paint
dry.
over the wet paint and it started flaking
No,
off.
that's not.
no,
No,
not that bad.
no. I guess I was using different pressures at different points, and so it was all streaky and it was patchy and like it was different shades of red in different spots.
So
Peter-
she's freaking out
Peter can't see.
because it hasn't finished drying yet.
You have to take it all the way over there.
I'm not taking it all the way.
Sure.
Over
Or you could just.
there. I'm going to share it in the Discord.
Or
Yeah,
just share it
'cause
or share it to the group.
you're a group.
So, anyway, so I call him in a panic. I ruined the door. I don't know how to fix this. He doesn't answer me because he's working. So I text my dad the same exact thing. I've ruined my door. I don't know how to fix this. And I sit on the floor and I just start crying until someone calls me. And they both said the same exact thing to me. It's just the first coat. The first coat looks like shit. Calm the fuck down. And he was like, if it's not that bad, it looks fine. If you really don't want to do it, I'll do it. And I was like, how long does it take to dry before I can do the next coat? And he's like, I don't know, like an hour. So I waited.
Depends on how much you put on there than the first coat. Yeah,
And then I very calmly and very slowly, so I could be very precise, did 2 more coats.
Oh yeah, you can see where every single one of these strokes where you had gotten new paint and started a new one, versus where you were kind of running low and just using what was already on the brush.
No,
Let's say,
send him my finished work.
once she was finally done, it's not terrible.
I believe that, but if you're thinking that the first coat is the final project, I can see why there was panic.
It's a little panicked. Well,
I guess
because
she
in my
hadn't
head, I didn't think a
painted
second
anything in a
coat would
long
fix
time.
it. I have never painted anything ever that wasn't like an art project.
Even our projects, you usually had to do multiple coats of.
There's just the one spot that I really don't like that I'm gonna have to go over.
Good, well you fucking fix it.
And then yeah, all the touch-up work around the edges because of her chef's kiss job.
You said I did a really good job with the taping. You don't get to take it back now.
No, I said you did what I needed you to do, and that was not get any paint on the window
And I didn't get any paint on the window.
or the hardware. You did a great job. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, it sounds like you did what you were. Like it looks right for. You didn't do the fine touches on it.
Like I said, zoom in on the second picture.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah,
there you can see where it needs to be touched up, but
you just got the little
when
spots.
you're trying to avoid getting paint on glass and hardware, that's what you're supposed to do.
It's the little spot. I gotta get that done.
And then I told him, don't you ever ask me to paint anything ever again, and you're doing the inside.
And what I said was,
Hard. Didn't you volunteer to paint this?
like I said, what I said was, I
No,
didn't ask you to paint the outside.
I'm not saying he asked me to paint the outside. I'm just saying for the future, don't you ever ask me to paint anything.
No, you said don't ever ask me to paint anything again. And my response was,
I'm sorry.
I didn't ask you in
I
the
meant-
first place.
I meant
so
to say,
can-
don't ever ask me to paint anything ever.
So I get one more because I can just not ask you again. I can ask you a first time,
Not doing it. I refuse.
but I'm allowed to ask.
No.
Your semantics were wrong. I'm allowed to ask
Your
once.
face is wrong.
Just not again.
Well, he's allowed to ask. That doesn't mean you're required to be like, yeah, I'll paint it.
Yeah, I'm just
You
allowed to
left it
ask
open
once.
for him to ask one more time.
And then after that, I'm screwed.
That was awful.
Literally called me at work, freaking out. She's freaking out.
I didn't call you at work. I texted you.
Okay, when
When
I
you
called you
called
back,
me,
you were freaking out.
I was freaking out.
I just love the fucking fact that you're like, it was like a chef's kiss. Wow.
I was like, I saw walking up.
I saw walking over. Definitely not a chef's kiss moment.
But you fucking paint the doors.
Okay.
Stupid. Fuckers. I didn't even have a roller. I had to do that shit with a paintbrush.
Even worse.
It's a door. You're supposed to use it.
He said I'm not going to use a roller. I had to use paint.
So with glass, you could have took a razor if you got anything on there and just went around the edges and it would just take it off.
Asked me to not do that. He said, try not to get it on anything.
Are you worried that she's going to like scrape the glass with a razor?
Yes.
Instead of doing the flat edge of the blade, she's doing that nice
I
edge.
got it. I swear.
It.
This takes a while, but why is it all white afterwards? That's weird. It was clear before that. It looks frosted now.
So that was our door emergency story.
So yeah, when I go in and I do the cut-in work and actually touch it up, yeah, I'll come back through with the razor and scrape off the edge of the thing. But you know,
You do that. And you can do this whole inside too.
again, the inside would have been way easier to do. The outside's actually hard.
I actually probably wouldn't have freaked out as bad because we're doing the inside white, so I probably wouldn't have even been able to tell because it's white on white. But
why are
it's
you
fine
painting the inside white? It's already white.
because it's not.
The actual
technically it's not
door itself
finished.
Primer?
it's technically just primed, yeah. So and to match the trim instead of just being
And we
white.
had to redo the trim anyway. 'Cause
And
like
all
I
of
said,
our
it got-
whites are none of them are technically white except for the ceiling. They're all that
Yeah.
weird eggshell or some sort of bullshit.
And hopefully that paint
They're
there is
gray.
still good. I don't know.
No, the trim. The walls are all gray. They're weird gray. I do have to get one. I have to get one paint matched for the light color of our house outside because her dad got a little sloppy with the.
Well, he also
Trim work.
thought that the paint because
We had it in
dark,
the back. He's like, "Oh,
yeah.
it'll be just fine. I'll just cut it up. I can do whatever the fuck it is because I got the paint right there. I'll just cut it and finish it off." I'm like,
it wasn't
damn.
good anymore.
Don't you guys have? I meant to ask you about this. Don't you guys have solar panels?
Yes.
Do you guys use them?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just checking.
they work great.
Yeah.
They supplement our electricity bill quite a bit.
Our electricity bill's only been like $60-$70 a month.
Nice. Nice.
I mean, we're still paying off the solar panels, but fuck.
Well, yeah, that's the problem is that you're paying off solar panels.
It was about, well, yeah, but the whole winter it was about $23 the whole month. So it's a standard size electricity bill if you factor in the payment for the solar panels, and that's where it really works out. It actually really helps a lot during the summer, especially if you don't run the air conditioner a lot. It works out great.
And then we have a smart thermostat, so like if nobody's here, it automatically will.
Bake the kittens.
No, it only
That's why he's shedding so much.
it only goes to it
Just
only goes up to 80.
90 in here, and the guy's just
No.
like.
No, it goes to 80. And that's fine.
What brand smart thermostat is it?
Google.
It'll just match the outside temperature
Oh,
as
wait,
best
no,
it can to a certain point.
we have it set like from our phones that like we have it set on the present sensing, so if it doesn't sense either of our phones, it'll go to eco mode, which is like 80 to 60 something.
Yeah, I didn't
65
allow
or
the
something.
the portion where you can let your electricity provider take control of your thermostat.
Yeah, fuck
Where they're just like where they just jack it wherever they want. I'm like, no, I'll be nice and I'll save my own money on purpose, but I'm not getting. I don't care how much you're gonna save me with the extra perks when you just decide at 6 o'clock at night that you're like, no, it's gonna be 85 degrees in your house, so we're gonna turn no AC for you. I'm like, I prefer rolling blackouts.
Yeah.
And everybody's fucked, not
I
just
even
me.
I even set it up on my dad's phone so that if he's like house sitting, it'll sense him and not bake him.
Though the funny part is, I don't know if it knows if I'm here half the time, because if I sit on the couch on a day off, if I sit on the couch all day and haven't gone to the bathroom and done something like that, it'll all of a sudden turn on eco mode and be like 85 degrees in here, I'll be sweating on the couch. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I gotta walk in front of the thermostat, and he goes, oh wait, there's somebody still here? Oh shit, sorry, my bad.
Check your phone settings because it kicked mine off after the last update too.
That's just part of how that thermostat works. It checks for motion too. So if you sit still for too long, it thinks that you like left your phone or some shit.
Yeah, that's what I assume it does. It's like, oh, you just left your phone at home. It hasn't moved in 2 hours. Nobody's in that building. Yeah, we'll turn this off real quick. And then I'm like, no, it's fucking hot in here. What are you doing? Hey Google, can you make it so I'm not dying?
I just want to sit in peace. Is that why it's 5 million degrees in here right now?
Yeah, because it forgot I was here.
'Cause I'm boiling, but I'm like broken. So
It feels much better now. It was real awful earlier. Should we actually like start this thing?
Well, yeah, probably. Welcome to the 8-Bit Cat Show, a place where friends geek out over the nerdy things we love, sometimes with cats. This is the backside of Duke. He's here. I'm your host, Stephanie Katz. With us tonight, Zach.
Greetings and salutations.
Peter is definitely here tonight.
Hi.
And that is definitely Tom.
Hello.
Y'all pretend I was here when I wasn't last time or something?
No, I fucked up and called him you. It was a whole thing.
Oh.
Because you always, like, when I'm introducing, you always come after Zach. So
Hey.
it's like, and...
Can you
And
not eat
Peter,
that?
and I was like, yep, that's me.
Can you not eat the cords, bud?
So everything's fine. This is fine. We're all good. So we finished The Mandalorian.
Finally.
Peter, did you finish The Mandalorian?
Like a
Oh,
while
you
ago.
forgot about like the 3 episodes ago where I said I watched it all in one day?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You were
forgot.
like, what the fuck? Why would you watch it all in one day?
Oh, yes, I remember. And I asked you if you were pleased with the ending. Are you still...
If it's an
pleased?
actual ending, sure. But it's not. There's going to be a season 4.
I know. That's what I told her. I'm like, this would be really nice if they actually just ended it here. They wrapped it all up. Yeah, there's technically continuing stories that they could always do, but guess what? They don't have to tell those right now.
I mean, do we have it confirmed that it's going to be Mando and Grogu, or is it going to be, like, the rebuilding of Mandalore? That'd be cool, too.
I have no doubt in my mind it's going to be Mando and Grogu because Disney won't let those characters go away.
I don't know. I'd be okay with the Book of Bo-Katan.
I'd be fine with that, too, if they wanted to just make it not about Din. I said this last time.
You did.
Yeah.
They just wanted to stop having it be about Din. But they're not gonna.
The Dins. Thank you very much. It's not just Din. It's the Dins.
Din Grogu.
Because apparently his Din is his last name. I guess they
But
were going with
let's
Asian
not pretend.
naming conventions.
Let's not pretend that Grogu is actually a character with a personality. He is a prop to sell toys.
He is Din Grogu. Thank you very much. Son of Din Djarin.
And significantly older than Din Djarin.
Mandalorian apprentice. You put some respect on that little green bastard's name.
No.
Okay. I tried.
Well,
I don't know.
um,
There was a couple of good drops, like them going like, well, we're just waiting on Admiral Thrawn to get back, and they're like, he's not coming, motherfuckers. He's
Yeah,
totally
like,
coming, by
I
the way.
want-
He's totally coming.
yeah, he's gonna show up in the Ahsoka show. But yeah, like, I want to know more about this secret spies within the New Republic. Like, give me more of that story.
I want
Like
They
Andor,
won't,
but backwards.
because it's interesting.
Andor, but backwards. Pull the reverse Andor. Let's watch that.
What was the New Republic?
Rodna.
Go crazy?
Well, because yeah, like they have
Becoming the Empire?
they have some like spies
They have
in
the
there.
Empire Rehabilitation Program, and so people from the Empire, they're trying to put them back to work, and because they were just good soldiers following orders.
Right.
So they weren't bad people. Put them in the right line of work, and they'll be able to be rehabilitated. And some people are taking advantage of the fact that they're being able to be put back into sensitive positions as a former remnant of the Empire by still working for the former remnants of the Empire.
And then there's also apparently this whole like secret society of New Republic officers that are actually secretly Imperials.
Yeah, they got a whole Imperial Secret Council,
That would make sense.
bunch of dudes that are all the warlords that have been sticking around are not actually just independent warlords. They're working to bring the Rise of the Empire back.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm like, give me more of that story.
Yeah, it's a shame it kind of didn't go anywhere when they introduced it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, they gave you small snippets just to, like, kind of push more Moff Gideon, which, don't get me wrong, I love because Giancarlo Esposito. But it was kind of... the final fight between him and Bo-Katan was for sure badass. But overall, like, it was just uneventful. Like, it was just like a whole thing so that they could, like, fight for Mandalore back.
It's almost like you lose impact with the villain if he shows up every time to fight the superhero over and over again, making it seem like that main character only exists to fight that villain.
But he's, like, dead now, though, right? Like,
we don't know that.
Dead?
There's no body, so he could still be alive.
That's true.
I don't know. He looked pretty crispified.
We
He
didn't
was
see
in
the
Beskar
body.
armor. We've seen that stuff survive dumber shit.
It survived a Sarlacc.
Again, but his helmet was off.
Was it?
No, it wasn't.
Oh. I
He
just
put it
assumed
back
the
on.
fire got in the seams there.
I don't
We know that there's weird seams because, we can see it in the movies and shows, but they do treat it like it's a completely, like, contained, like,
Theoretically.
functioning suit. It's there's not really any way for that to have gotten in.
Like I
He's
said,
probably
theoretically.
fine.
At least they got rid of all of his clones before that, though.
Yeah,
We
he had
got
clones.
clones.
And the whole reason that he originally was trying to experiment on Grogu was because he was trying to put the Force into clones so that he could be, like, the ultimate Force user.
Yeah, never mind
or
that was
something.
something that existed in the old canon. It was expressly stated that you actually cannot, like, clone midichlorians into a body.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you do, you create weird nightmare monsters that aren't actually Force sensitive.
Yeah,
Hot.
that's what I think. That's the issues he was having.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. To be clear, he says he was successful. Those clones have Force sensitivity. They're not things anymore.
Yeah, theoretically.
Yeah, didn't fuck them up real good.
He just because he says he did it doesn't mean he actually did it. Though he did seem pretty
In
upset.
that
I think he
moment,
might have actually done it.
That's a lie. Yeah.
Like I said, I think he seemed pretty upset that it didn't just flush them all down the toilet. Basically,
Yeah.
he did not seem happy. There was some great jetpack on jetpack fighting between some.
Yeah, those were great CG scenes. That was a lot of fun.
But, like, yeah, it was just another season of, like, fetch questing.
I mean, that's kind of what.
I mean, that's kind of what I told y'all last time.
Yeah.
Like, hey, there's going to start some plot points that feel like these need way longer to resolve than they take.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Jack Black was pretty good. As a disgraced former
This is
Imperial,
Jack Black.
made sense.
He's good in everything he's in,
Yeah.
including that 5-minute cameo in that one episode of The Office where they make up a fake movie where he falls in love with someone's grandma.
I don't know, the Peaches
I
thing
did
kind
forget
of...
about that one. Hey, I don't know. I've also heard that. I don't know. I've heard multiple opinions that that Super Mario Brothers movie is actually pretty good. Multiple opinions.
Well, we'll see it when it comes on streaming. I'm not going to go...
Yeah, I'm not gonna pay for that one.
No, thank you.
That's not even the song. Gosh.
It's practically the fucking song.
Yeah, the rhythm was off.
The other thing we watched that I know Peter super doesn't care about, but we're caught up on the Bad Batch. I thought you were gonna...
Ta-da!
We did it.
We're caught up.
Well, I thought you were gonna, like, jump in and help me out with, like,
I don't know.
some fight.
I thought you
Not
were
that
going to
great,
say
huh?
something about that.
Doesn't sound that great if you're not wanting to talk about it too
No, I
much.
mean, it's like
It's not the Clone Wars.
it's not, but it really towards the last half of this season, like I literally sat there when we were transitioning between two episodes last night. We were watching. I'm like, this is a kids show, right?
Oh yeah, some, like, super fucked up shit happened. And we're like,
Like
It
some
was
shit
so
gets
bad.
dark, and I'm like, this was a kids show, right? Like way darker than any Clone Wars episodes. You're like, Like there was a whole like the opening. It was basically like the opening scene of Aliens was in this show, and I'm like, this is pretty intense. This is for like 9-year-olds, young adults at least.
But you find out that the Emperor did successfully clone the Zillo Beast.
They did finally pay off that
plot line.
that plot line from Clone Wars that only like 14 years later. And still
That
for
was
no
the
good.
animal they wanted to turn into like armor, right?
Yes, yeah, that was the one that they found on the Doug planet.
I thought that plot line was resolved in that episode.
No, my thing that is that the fact that a giant beast attacked not only Coruscant but the Senate itself, and no one spoke of it again. It literally was never mentioned. There are thousands of people in its path of carnage that suffer from PTSD at this point in time now. Hundreds of people died. It was on the news, and no one ever spoke of it again. Until this episode of The Bad Batch, where somebody goes, "Oh, that's so weird. It looks just like the creature that attacked Coruscant." And that's the only line they say about it.
That's,
yeah.
Well, all right then.
And then they're kind of giving
Doesn't
you
make any damn sense to me.
some like insight into like the, I guess the cloning of what's his toes, Palpatine. Like, isn't that's where this is going, right?
Yeah, they're doing all the clone stuff like that. That's where the Mandalorian is from too. Is how he eventually gets his clone body back in what is the. I don't even remember the names of the stupid fucking ones. No, number 9.
What?
Well, not Last Jedi. Rise of Skywalker. There
Oh,
we go.
the movie.
The movie Rise of Skywalker.
He's saying number 9, and I'm like, are you talking about a clone name?
No.
Where are we going with this?
Gotta love when they have to use a TV show to explain shit that they didn't want to explain in a movie.
Super fun.
Keeps you engaged.
I'm
Ooh,
just-
that's part of the canon.
Canon.
They did the clone Palpatine thing in the extended universe originally,
They did.
but it wasn't like an explanation for how he came back after he died in like a different movie that didn't bother to explain it, that led with somehow Palpatine returned. It was just, that's the story they wanted to tell next.
Yeah, it was.
They finished it, and then
So-
there was not another 8 million clones of Palpatine running around. It was done.
Well, there was a couple of other like people who were like, "I'm going to now pretend that I'm a clone of Palpatine because that worked. He actually had one, so if I pretend, maybe somebody will actually let me be Emperor for a little bit."
That I'm fine with. I mean, I was fine with the clone thing in the original extended universe. The reason I'm taking issue with it here is entirely because it went without explanation when they used it in a movie just so that they could get people to watch the 9th movie after the 8th one bombed. Because
Oh, yeah.
hey, Palpatine's back. And then now they're using a TV show that you can only watch through their subscription service to explain that.
Multiple TV shows.
Yeah.
Multiple TV shows.
So how did he do it? Did he just force his consciousness over to the other body, or
We don't know yet. That hasn't been explained.
silly?
If it ever will be.
Yeah, exactly.
Be funny if it's just one of those things.
The
where he
answer
just
is
has,
somehow.
Somehow.
he
The
just has
answer is
multiple.
somehow.
He just has multiple clones. And the clones know they're clones, and they just come out and they just go, "Well, that one's dead. My turn."
In the old extended universe,
Who is he,
kind of
Rick?
like
That's pretty much it. He's like, my turn. I'll
in
keep
the old
on my
extended
work.
universe, he basically forced his consciousness to new bodies through the Force.
That's what I was thinking.
But
It was
even
easy.
that doesn't really explain it too much. Just that's how it works.
Yeah, basically in the I believe exactly in the original series that he was basically cloning blank templates, and then when instead of because the Darksiders can't make Force ghosts, but they can technically create Force relics, which then their hate and their anger attach them to a specific object. So basically, he just had to be near the new cloned body in order to pass into that. And the first one, he was able to. It took him a long time to find his clone body because his anger was just having to fly through space basically until he could find the vessel. It's really dumb shit, but it does actually make more sense. Then somehow he returned.
Let the anger flow from you.
The context for how he could still use the Force in that is that it is his original like spirit going to the new bodies. The bodies themselves are not Force sensitive, but that whole series was written before they introduced midichlorians into the continuity anyway.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what's screwing me up?
Also, the bodies sucked. They would decay after like a week.
Yeah, that's why you had to have so many of them.
Oh.
Because they killed all the Kaminoans and they didn't have proper cloning technology.
They
He wanted to steal Luke's body, I believe, was the ultimate goal, and then he changed it to Leia's kid.
Yeah, he was gonna take over Ben, if I remember correctly. The
Jason.
original Ben.
Ben
Jason.
is Luke's kid.
Yeah, Jason. Sorry.
What's screwing me up is like there's so many Star Wars now that have like, even if the entire plot is not exactly the same, there's like enough like subtle plot lines that like link up with other things that I keep screwing up what happened in which show and getting confused.
Yeah, it's almost like they've oversaturated the market with a bunch of their own shit, with different writers not working together to make sure continuity is consistent, and it's starting to get all bad.
Continuity? What's that?
It's a thing.
Is that a bed sheet made of continuity?
Have you watched Visions at all?
I watched an episode.
We haven't gotten to it.
Yeah, we didn't start it yet.
I mean, I watched it, it's like, this looks good, but I just don't give a shit
I want to watch the Wallace and Gromit one.
Well, then I'll bring up one more Star Wars thing, and then we can move on. But you've been playing Jedi Survivor?
No, I've been playing Tears of the Kingdom. That game came out while I was away, so that's what I've been spending my time doing.
Oh.
I don't even know that one.
Have you been making gigantic robots with big giant dildos that shoot flames from them?
No, I have
Damn
not.
it! You're wasting awesome potential.
You're wasting your
I'm
time.
mostly getting to these areas where it's like, oh, this is clearly like a puzzle where I have to climb up and find a way through this passageway, and then instead attaching a bunch of rockets to my shield and flying over it.
Nice.
That works.
Okay, I'm still on board. Peter's still playing this game right. All right. Fuck the puzzle. I'm just gonna fly.
Well, tell him about
Jetpack.
Tell him about the favorite achievement you just got.
Oh, I didn't know it was one. There's some great achievements on the Xbox for the Jedi Survivor. There was one. Your comment earlier actually maybe reminded me of it. It goes, "Oh, that's canon," but as in canon as it's shooting. So yeah, you had to push somebody into a giant. It's basically the same one that you got in like the.
I've got that one too.
The Force Unleashed games where you
pushed a stormtrooper into that beam when you're navigating that one ship. Yeah.
That's canon. And I'm like, yeah, it is. That is. No, but the best one was they have the achievement is named Roadhouse because there is a skill that you can drop kick somebody, and if you're wearing a mullet while you drop kick somebody, you get the Roadhouse achievement. I'm like, Swayze rules.
Of course.
I'm like, that's so dumb, but that is also great. And apparently, I will just say the achievement names are solidly named. I was going through a couple of them. If you go to all of the meditation chambers, you get the Star Tours achievement. I'm like, all right.
That's nice, at least.
I'm like, so yeah, there's some really dumb ones in there too, but they're great. I'm like, this is getting fun. Though I am a little annoyed on some of the. I will say I finally got to a point where I was annoyed on the game mechanics. Because you basically don't get one of the mechanics until you've almost beaten the game.
Which one?
The electro dart for BD1.
Yeah. It's because it expected you to kind of plow through the story and then do all the side content afterwards.
Yeah, well, it's still dumb.
That's why the story has a context of like some urgency. It wants the player to feel like you maybe should focus on that first.
Yeah, fuck that. I'm going to go around and find the random shit. So I wish I had done it earlier because right before you got that part, you did get the upgrade to your map that shows you where the fucking boxes are.
Well,
you're
good.
like,
now,
fuck.
now when we go back to my file, you'll know where all the boxes are.
No, well, you'll just know to get to close to the end so you can get all that shit.
Yes. And then we can go back here.
And then go back.
You can find it yourself. Jump up and down shit.
I tried to play it a little myself, and I gave it back very quickly.
I found something you would not like to do.
A little.
All right. So the Force Tears. They're
The challenge mission.
yeah, the challenge mission basically. Now the fighting ones haven't had really any issues with that, except for there's a couple that are dumb. But honestly, the quote unquote skills challenge ones, there was one. It's like 6 different little zip lines that all have giant things on them that can electrocute and murder you. That you have to time perfectly, and then also like triple jump, go through a barrier so you can triple jump again, land on it, and do it perfectly. It took me like 38 tries to do this fucking thing. I was getting so pissed. I'm like, you can't, like, all the combat is nice. Like, if you get stuck somewhere, guess what? You can drop the combat ability just for that portion. You can get through it. You're done, right? You can't do that on this thing that you're timing through, and you can't even stop it unless you do it, basically. I'm like, how do I get out of this? If I wanted to just be done, how do I be done? And he goes, oh, no, not on this one. Sorry.
Sounds like a nightmare.
It was.
Yeah.
And he didn't even get anything good for it. It was like some dumb perk, and I'm like, this is annoying me.
Some dumb perk.
Well, like, I didn't even end up using. It's like, yeah, all right, no.
Well, what's the perk?
I don't know. Again,
It's a dumb perk.
it wasn't like one even. It was like,
That would not
oh,
be worth note.
your agility is slightly lower, so it's harder to do a parry. But if you do successfully do a parry, you reduce their stamina energy by more. And you're like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I'm gonna keep the one that lets me my blaster shoot stronger.
Is that fucking?
Maybe that's why it's still sparkly.
that
I don't
sparkling
know
thing
why,
works.
but yeah, my gun will not stop looking like it has a charged shot on it. It's just like glowing in my pants. It's
Pretty
very
much,
strange.
yeah.
Oh my.
That's what it looks like.
Well then.
I saw it when he was playing it when I walked in here today.
It looks like he's got a sparkler stuck down his pocket. And you're like, what are you doing, man?
Like fell down and there was just a sparkler going off.
That's gotta be hot on your leg.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Just kidding.
Fuck you guys. So we went and saw the new Little Mermaid.
Cool.
How was it?
It's pretty good.
I'm gonna guess fine.
It was absolutely fine.
Sure, it was
How-
fine.
Halle Bailey killed it. Melissa McCarthy was actually surprisingly good.
I was pleasantly surprised by her performance as Ursula.
How was the CGI?
Sebastian Scuttle were okay. Flounder is a nightmare creature from the depths of hell. I didn't think you could give a fish lips. You can, and it's scary.
Flounder made me uncomfortable.
Like a lot.
Legitimately.
Like a lot.
Like,
See,
I think they were legitimately trying to find ways to not have him in the movie because they couldn't figure out a way to make him look right.
See, I heard like kind of like the opposite. That Flounder was okay that he looked like a fish and had lips. It wasn't like too uncanny valley shit. But then like for whatever reason, Sebastian just looked weird.
I mean,
Everybody was
he
like a
did
little
look
bit more upset about
Sebastian,
Sebastian.
They modeled him after a crab that can't go underwater.
And it also, like, they had his eyes come up like this. So, like, instead of the eyes being, like, here where crab eyes are, they were, like think Mr.
Like lobster?
Krabs.
Like lobster eyes.
It was more Mr. Krabs kind of crab, honestly.
Yeah.
He had some weird
But
eye stalk things.
his freaking muttering to himself banter was hilarious. And I'm like, wow, everyone who works, like, a job feels you right now,
Yeah,
bud.
his Rassenfrasser Hasserhaffens, which you could actually understand everything he said. I'm like, I'm pretty sure King Trident can hear everything you're saying as you're walking down that hallway, bro. But they were all pretty funny. They basically shot-for-shot remake. There was a couple of differences. A couple of ones that were good and a couple of ones that were like, eh.
They gave Prince Eric his own song.
Instead of having La Poisson.
Yeah, they took a La Poisson and gave Prince Eric his own song.
They did make a good reference to it Sebastian basically, he definitely talks about it, that song definitely still happened. It just happened off screen.
Yeah, he climbs up. He's like, I had to climb up this whole thing, and I almost got fricasseed for you. Or something like that.
And then they have a rap as well, but Alan Menken did come back and wrote the new songs as well and the arrangements for this one, so it was all pretty solid. The music was all great. Yeah, but then since Lin-Manuel Miranda was also helping, there was a rap between Scuttle and Sebastian, because it's Aquafina and
David
Diggs, who can both rap pretty well. It was interesting, we'll say.
Look
Yeah.
at the CGI stuff.
You're looking at the nightmare creatures.
I looked at them a minute ago. They really don't seem that bad.
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah, well,
Scuttle seems fine.
on the Scuttle seems fine. Sebastian was a little weird, but it grew on me. But no, every time I saw Flounder, I was like, ugh. Nightmare creature.
I just feel bad because I thought it was bad CGI, like on Halle Bailey when they had her as a mermaid, and that she would look different when she was a person, I guess. But yeah, I just felt weird that I guess I just don't like her face, and I feel like a jerk. But there's something off with her face, and it messes me up. But I didn't like looking at her.
Didn't you
face.
say you thought her eyes were
Her
too
eyes are
far
too far apart.
apart?
It's what it is. I don't want to really be that rude about it, but it was messing me up. I thought it was bad CGI, and I'm like,
That's just
no,
her
that's
eyes?
just genetics. Shit.
I don't know what he's talking about.
She's a great singer.
Oh yeah, she
She killed it on the as far as the singing goes. And actually, Melissa McCarthy was a better singer than I was expecting. Her rendition of "Poor Unfortunate Souls" was pretty solid.
Oh, they did change like a couple little things though to kind of like quote unquote make it like more inclusive and less divisive. Like in Poor Unfortunate Souls, they took out the part where like Ariel's like, oh well, how am I supposed to like get him to kiss me and all this stuff if I don't have a voice? And Ursula goes, body language. They took that whole part out.
But they added a separate portion to the curse that apparently she forgot that she was supposed to kiss him as part of when Ursula added to the curse that as soon as she was cursed and a human, she would forget that the only way that she got to stay that way is if she kissed the guy.
And then in Kiss the Girl, they changed the line to where he's like, there's one way to ask her, just kiss her, to, there's one way to ask her, he goes, use your words, stupid.
Instead of doing she doesn't say a word, but there's one way to ask her, and that's just kiss the girl. And they're like, there's one way to ask her, and that's use your words, boy. Ask to kiss the girl. And it's like, all right, I can see it. I get it.
I guess.
I, in fact, made that comment. We were listening to something the other night. I'm like, that's a little, that's not active consent there, Eric. And I know it's her friend telling you to do it, but it's still not right. Even if she does actually want you to kiss her.
And then Flotsam and Jetsam didn't talk at all. They didn't even name them.
They did. She says it in the song, like she always does. That's the only time she ever says it in the original movie, too. She says the Flotsam Jetsam, I've got him on the ropes, boys.
Does she?
Yep.
Did they talk in the original movie?
Yes.
I don't remember them actually speaking in
They
the
do,
animated one.
because when she's in the grotto after Triton fucks her whole shit up, they come down and they're like, oh, poor child, poor sweet child. You know who could help you? Ursula could help you.
Well,
And
they
but
just
in
changed
this
that
one-
and gave her like a weird little portal thing, and she just
Yeah.
talked to her directly.
Yeah. They still get fucking fried, blown up. Kapooey, dead.
And
DEAD,
Ursula's
dead,
hand.
dead.
She disintegrates.
Oh, and then they changed the ending a little bit too. So like, remember in the original when Eric is the one that like drives the boat into Ursula to kill her? They switched them, so Ariel's the one that.
She girl boss modes this thing.
It's better than how they changed Cinderella's ending.
I didn't actually see that one.
I don't
So
remember.
with that
it's
one,
too far.
instead of her, when she gets locked up in like the attic, when the prince is visiting to test the shoe, in the original, she's kind of freaking out and trying to like break the door down to get out. In the remake, she just kind of starts quietly dancing and accepting her fate, and I'm like, oh, that's a little
I don't remember that. I'll have
not
to go
great.
rewatch it.
What really got me that I thought was quite funny, I counted it, and after she gets her voice back, she says, and then the movie has another 25 minutes of runtime, basically, after she gets her voice back. She says, including the whole fight scene against Ursula, she says 6 words to Eric in the movie. And 3 of them are yes.
What are the other 3?
Oh God, now I am ready. Yeah, sorry. Yes, I am ready. She says, he says, Ariel, was you all along? And she goes, yes, and then gets kidnapped by Ursula and taken into the ocean. And then he goes, are you ready? And she goes, yes, I am ready. And that's the only word she speaks to Eric in the entire movie. Is yes, then yes, I am ready.
Huh.
And it messed me up.
She does have like a whole other like monologue with her dad though. Like just
Oh no, she talks.
Eric,
she
Eric
talks a lot.
I get that, but that is a weird call to only say 6 words to the main motivation for the entire reason she did anything in this movie.
Yes.
I mean,
Though technically her dad is actually the main motivation. Her main motivation is to find a place where they don't reprimand their daughters.
Which is funny because in this one, Eric actually, like, you actually see his mom, like, she's actually, like, on screen and everything. And it's, like, the reverses things are happening. Like, she's like, no, you have to stay in this castle and blah, blah, blah. You can't go on these voyages because you have responsibilities. So it's, like, the same things are happening. And there was a couple times where Ariel's literally watching the shit happening. And I'm like, girl, do you not fucking see? Go back to the sea. Fucking go hang out with the fishies.
They're both just too.
I'm completely flabbergasted right now. You're telling me that if you were to take the context of the cartoon, like obviously the shortcomings and the now not so popular ideas in it, but Eric was a sailor, a hero kind of prince. That's what he was, and that's why he was held to such high regards, even though, you know, Kiss the Girl was a freaking thing.
Well, so he still was all those things, but her point is like you've come of age now, so you have to take over your dead father's responsibilities as.
But he's a prince.
Yeah, and the Queen's still alive. Yeah, so he doesn't actually have any
So
responsibility.
he has no responsibilities. I'm just saying, from a story standpoint, you know.
also-
If it
So,
makes you feel any better, it's actually her stepson. They never had any children of their own. He washed up on, because we got some backstory, he washed up on sea, on their seashore, and they adopted him.
Yeah, so he's not even. He's just adopted.
What the
prince.
fuck?
Also, his parents are black, and the Little Mermaid is black, but
Okay.
Eric is white, and it's really funny now that their
Right.
daughter. Their daughter-in-law of their adopted son actually looks more like I guess she looks more like her mother-in-law than she does her own father. It's the weirdest. It's some weird shit.
Yeah, like it looks like they should have swapped parents.
Well, Poseidon, he had multiple race kids.
Well, yeah. He's also Javier Bardem is playing him. I believe it's Javier Bardem. Yeah. It was in a very wooden performance. He was definitely phoning it in. It felt like to me, at least. Triton's performance was the only one that seemed phoned in to me.
I'm all for girl power and stuff like that, but you're kind of taking the premise of, you know, chivalry out of like the movie, just in how you explain it. Like she's the one who drove the ship into
She's her own
Ursula,
hero.
you know,
Yeah.
rather than he doing it. I mean, you could probably get away with having him and her be a hero-heroine duo and doing it together, but it just sounds like it was
No,
just
she
the
took
Little
more,
Mermaid.
She took more of the lead.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
because Ursula killed her dad, so she was like, "I'm gonna get revenge, you bitch."
Yeah, he doesn't get turned into a little worm thing. She like
actually murders him.
disintegrates his ass.
Stupid.
But then he gets reconstituted with magic.
That was-
yeah.
That was the other. Okay, so like
It's some weird
when
shit.
they're going down. So you know in the original when she's going down into Ursula's cave and there's like the little seaweed things because that's what she had turned them into. Bro, she straight up murders people. Like there were like mermaid skeletons all the fuck over this place.
Like piles of bones all over. She's like, oh, we're not even pulling the punches, little kids movie. They're dead.
What? So she didn't. You just said that she didn't go to the cave; that it was a portal that she saw. So how?
No. She tells her to come to my cave.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So
Right.
yeah, like in the original movie, Flotsam and Jetsam go and they actually talk to her and convince her to go see Ursula. And then in this one, they come together and create a portal,
Like
and
a
she
little
talks.
mirror.
Yeah, and then they still lead her to the cave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when she like goes down in it, like there's just like all these freaking like mermaid skeletons.
Well,
And the first thing that she thinks to herself is not, I need to get the fuck out of here.
No, like I will say,
She does actually.
she-
She's like, this is a really bad idea, and Ursula's basically like, nah, you're here now, bitch. We're doing this, and you don't get a choice.
she's like, nah, come on, we're gonna do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
And-
so no consent there, but
and
kiss
apparently-
the girl is hard, you know.
She didn't
And
even sign the contract this time. It was
Yeah,
just blood oath. It was
a blood
Oh.
oath.
It was take the
Oh.
scale, blood oath. It's like, all
And,
right.
apparently, I didn't know this, but Ursula and Triton are siblings.
Yeah, that's always been the case.
I
She's
never-
always been his brother.
I never knew
or
that.
She's always been his sister.
I never knew that.
That's why they were always didn't like each other.
And I also did like, we both commented something that was pretty cool. So instead of it being like a clamshell bra, it actually looked more like it was like scales. So that was like part of her
Body.
Yeah.
All of the mermaids, all of their quote unquote bra areas were
Fish
covered in fish scales, instead of them ripping open a bike.
So no boobies.
No boobies. And then I did
They're
also
fish, man. Of course they don't have boobs. What is
What are
wrong
you
with
talking
you?
about? They're humid fish. They're like a cross between both.
I don't believe they. I still don't believe they actually. They're not mammals still.
But they're supposed to resemble
Yeah, but they're not mammals.
human form,
Yeah,
at least the
it-
top half.
It still looks like they have those things, but they're not actually mammary glands anymore.
and then I also did
Shame.
like how like each
they're not
of the each of the sisters like like more culturally representative like the sea they were from. I thought that was really cool too.
Instead of just being the color, then being different colors, they were legitimately like, oh, you're the Indian Ocean, you're the Caspian Sea, you're the Black Sea, you're the Mediterranean Sea. Which Ariel is the Mediterranean Sea? No, like literally the Black Sea.
Disney playing into racism. I don't know.
The Arctic Ocean, the seven seas. The Black Sea counts as what?
So who is the Arctic Ocean?
She looked like Elsa, but with a tail.
Figured as much.
She was legitimately same color theme, blonde hair, blue eyes, looks Scandinavian, you know.
I really want to see a behind the scenes on how it was filmed because they were also doing like really cool shit with their hair when they were in the ocean.
It's like the Pacific and Asian, or
Yes.
is she like Island Pacific?
No, she was like Asian.
She was
Because
Asian.
they had the Indian Ocean then there too. They had Pacific and then Indian. Yeah.
So it was a Black Sea. Why would you have the Black Sea though? It's not even an ocean.
Well, it's one of the seven seas though.
Okay. Well,
There's 5 oceans, but there's 7 seas.
True. Yeah.
And of the 5 oceans, they don't actually. Not all 5 of them actually count as in the seas. Is the weird part. Yeah, it's weird. The original concept of the 7 seas is a strange thing.
Was the Black Sea like Arabic?
Yeah,
Yeah.
if I remember
Or
correctly.
Arabic?
Arabic.
Arabic.
You're putting the emphasis on the wrong syllable, sir.
Look, I'm white, okay?
You are definitely putting the emphasis on the wrong syllable.
I'm a Caucasian, okay?
I bet you are. You sound like a Caucasian.
You're so stupid.
Meanwhile, Peter's just like, where are you, moral compass?
What are the 7 seas? The
Uh,
Arctic.
The Black Sea's not one of them. It never has been.
I don't know. You're crazy. All right. In Greek literature, it was the Aegean, the Adriatic, the Mediterranean, the Black, the Red, and the Caspian. Boom. Suck it.
So here's the actual 7 seas, which is the Arctic, North Atlantic, South, or North Pacific, South Pacific, Indian, and Southern Oceans.
Yeah, that's the national oceanographic. That's the current 7 seas. The mythological 7 seas set down by the Greeks were the 7 seas that they actually knew at the time.
Okay,
So
why
you're
are we basing it specifically on the Greeks?
So you're saying all of them should have been white
because
historically?
because the Hans Christian Andersen fable is based off of the Greek mythology of the siren and the mermaid.
And that's why the king was called Poseidon?
No, he's Triton.
He was King Triton.
Yeah, that's what I fucking thought.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, they based the sisters off of the Greek
They
mythology.
did it wrong, is what I'm telling you.
I didn't write the shit. Anyway.
Well, that's why they have writer strikes, because they're all dumb.
Anyway, 6 cats.
6 cats.
6 cats.
That is not why they have rider strikes. My God.
Oh, you already missed the whole debate on the writer strikes thing. I really don't want to get back into
there should
it.
have been a debate. They deserve higher wages.
Please don't get him started, Peter. Please don't get him started.
Tom's just trying to be an asshole.
I don't believe that.
Oh. Yay, capitalism.
Your capitalism.
If they wanted more money, they could write a book.
Oh my god.
They would make even less if they wrote a book.
Hey, they get royalties the whole time they have that book. That is their book.
Royalty depends on who they have publishing it, and some people actually do get screwed out of it and instead taking one price instead of royalties off.
Yeah, they're dumb.
Peter, we said don't start
They're
it.
dumb.
That's not being dumb. That's
Take
being
royalties.
by people in
Take
power.
royalties. Write a couple books. Take royalties. Live off those for a little while. You'd be good.
Don't fall into his bait, Peter. Just walk away. Just walk
It's not
away.
calling a debate. It's specifically saying, "Hey, no, this isn't what we actually think. It's just one of our crew members being a jackass."
Yes, it is.
I believe that. I don't believe movie
you
stars
go.
get paid that much. I don't think writers should get paid that much either.
I like how it looks like he's fucking
It is so
glowing.
radically different in that instance.
I truly believe that just because you
Movie
make
stars
movies, you shouldn't get that.
millions to show up for 5 minutes. Writers cannot actually live on the wages they're given.
The thoughts and opinions of Tom
Well,
McCall do
at
not
the same time,
necessarily represent.
all those writers, they live in freaking LA where they're doing all that, and they're not getting paid good money. That's because they're fucking in LA. LA sucks. Sorry, everybody in LA, but LA sucks.
I think most people in LA would
No,
agree
they
with you.
suck. Yeah,
Would
they're like,
agree
yeah,
with
this place
you.
sucks.
This place
No,
is
but-
fucking awful.
Yeah, I mean, when the cost of living is astronomical, I can completely agree that they can't live off those wages. But I guarantee they're not getting paid like $10 an hour to write, in a writer's room and stuff like that. They're probably getting like 15 to 20 something an hour to write, I would assume. Do you know?
It varies from writer to writer. Let's see what the average is, I guess.
He's Googling.
Yeah, I'm fine with Googling. I mean, we can at least Google what the median writer's salary is.
that's why we mentioned it the last one too. But pretty much all the writers live in New York or Los Angeles.
Yeah, and
where
that's the
it's
problem. They
But,
could
well,
literally.
that's where the
That's
jobs
also where they film
are.
those things.
But the fucking thing is those movies have the ability to pay for writers to fly in, stay in a hotel for a little bit, and then fly back out, and pay them for what they're worth, what the time that they take.
But they don't. Do
Right,
that.
because they're
And
cheap.
that's why the writers are on strike. Is because they
Writers
don't
are on
get paid.
strike because they're just like, I want more money to live in LA,
Or they just want to be paid what they're owed.
which is what
Money most of the time.
10 people coming into a room going, yeah, let's write it like this, and then one guy going, nah, I didn't like that. Let's change that up. All right, let's
Alright.
change it up. No, I didn't like that
We'll
either.
Go ahead and give an example. You like Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man?
No,
You don't? You don't like Robert Downey Jr. at all? Or
no,
are you just
I didn't really care for
mad
him
at
that
him being a
much.
dick?
No, I really don't care for him that much. I
Okay.
don't care for any movie star, really. If
Did
you ask me
care
for,
his job in the role, did you not like the movie? Did you not like how he did? I'm not asking your opinion of the person. I'm asking how you did as the character.
no, I still hate movies. I'm one of the few people that don't like movies.
You ask him about something he likes. Like who's your favorite doctor?
Jesus Christ.
If you want my personal opinion, I don't
He's
care.
just
about
being
the
he's
doctors.
just being an asshole
I,
right
I,
now.
I like Doctor Who, and I like some movies that I'm like, oh, this is a nice movie. Yeah, they did a good job acting. But I could care less of who was in it because if, in hindsight, if you were to look at it right now, let's take The Fifth Element and put like Mila Jovovich, right? You have Mila Jovovich. She's playing frickin' Lilu. If somebody else played that at that time, we would have thought completely different. We wouldn't have cared about Mila Jovovich at all. So I don't care about the actors because anybody can play that role. It's just because she was in that role and she did a good job that you're like,
I think you just made a great argument
right.
for that the writing was more important than the acting.
I don't think so because the actors would make the writing live. The writing's there. It's here's your lines, deliver. You know.
Yeah, and somebody has to write those lines for there to be words on the page for the actors to act.
True.
And
But the actors have to act for the writers to live.
If it's a stupid script, no matter how good the actor is, it's not going to do well. George Clooney is a good actor. Batman and Robin is one of the worst things that's ever happened.
I brought up, the last time we discussed this, I brought up Twilight.
You're a fool.
Twilight was already in books. So
that was bad writing and bad acting.
Yeah. You're telling me writers went, oh, there's already an idea? Oh, we already have source material to read this from and just make up lines? Great. Sounds great. My easy job. Let me get paid fucking thousands and thousands of dollars for this. Like, no. Half of the movies in Hollywood right now are freaking rewrites of old movies.
Yeah, because they don't want to actually pay writers.
Because the writers don't have any good ideas anyway, and no one has a good idea to freaking bring to that.
How do you know?
To
You don't
actual
know
series.
that. You don't know that.
Because most of the people who actually have the ideas take the time to write it out and then take it to the producers or to the film companies and say, hey, here's my idea. They pitch it, and then they go, yeah, good idea, not good idea.
And then most of the time they go, we're not going to make that movie anyway because there's not an actual built-in target audience already, and we've done the math. We can just keep cranking out this bullshit over and over again, and we make money on it. But again, that's why you don't see any new stuff. But then that's why also that's the other reason they are doing remakes is so that they can pay less writers,
right?
Because there's already stuff. So yeah, that's where they're, and that's why the writers are on strike and saying, "Go fuck yourselves."
Well, because they don't want to they want to make up their own ideas. They should really just start writing it out and cranking that shit out.
Did you get a median?
I don't even know what to tell you on this.
Wage.
At this point in time, it is just annoying me because you're just doing a jerk.
He's just being a dick.
I want to know what's the median wage?
It can be as low as like 32,000 a year is what I was seeing.
As low as
32,000. That's not a lot.
So starting out 32,000 living in LA, that's poverty. I would tell you that right now.
That's poverty anywhere.
Not really. You could live off 32,000, say in like Georgia. You could live in that in Tennessee, like in rural areas. You could live on that. And there are many people that live on that now.
Maybe in a rural area. But most people don't live in rural
right.
areas.
Again, you're saying that the artists,
right?
Because the writers are living in those high cost living areas,
yeah, right. And
I can understand why their wages need to match.
Right, but
I completely agree that their wages need to match where they're living. The cost of living needs to match where you're getting paid. I understand that. I completely agree with that. But on the premise of what they do, I don't believe that they should be making millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars.
But
they're asking for livable wages.
I agree with that.
You're making it out like they want to be paid like fucking the movie stars and get millions just for writing a fucking page of a script.
No, because some of those writers are getting paid okay money because their writers have been around for a while, but they're also striking with the other guys saying, hey, I want more money too.
That's how a strike works.
It's because they want the people who aren't getting livable wages to get livable wages. Because another big part of the thing with the writer strike isn't even just wages; it's also putting a ban on AI and media being used that way.
Well, I can understand the ban in the AI stuff because
that's how
a bunch of shit like that.
But that's how a guild and a strike works. If
everyone has to, like that.
Everyone has to stop working, or else nothing happens. That's
why unions were originally
that's why the people who are actually getting paid are also going, I'm going to not get paid right now.
That's why they have writers unions.
So that other people can do that.
That's why they already have writers unions.
And that's why they're on strike.
That's why they're on strike.
They still have people who aren't in unions to be able to write for them and get that, you know.
And when
that's
happens,
consumerism.
Media sucks for years.
Still works.
In fact, Hollywood right now, they are going to eventually give in to the writers' demands. 100%.
I mean, at some point.
No.
But they already have years worth of content, probably.
No, that's actually not the case. And anything they already have,
a lot of projects have been shut down because the writers have stopped working on them.
And basically, there's going to delay a lot of stuff because you can't even technically, because of the way that Hollywood works, and they're all run by guilds and unions, is that technically you can't even, as a actor or director, do writing on those scripts if they were already worked on by union writers.
Right.
So you can either
understand that.
film exactly what you have in the can right now, or you can delay it until the writer's strike is over.
And a lot of actors are actually out striking with the writers.
Yeah, because
Sure.
they also believe that as well. But
Again, I believe that you should have a livable wage
Oh,
based on
100%.
the job that you do. I agree with that. But I don't think they should be paying $100,000 for
that's
a
not
writer
what they're
when you
asking
have like
for. And
50
again,
to 20 people
that's
writing
not
in
what
the
they're
room.
asking for.
Maybe.
That's legitimately not
No,
what they're
that's not
asking
what
for.
They're asking for.
It's
They're
not.
asking for livable wages, and they're asking for a ban on using AI in media.
Right.
Yep. It's what it is, Tom.
I'll leave it at that.
All right. You just hashed a lot of the same thing over and over again there. What do you got here for us next, Stephanie?
So some community stuff. Jay Gilmer 42 says, "Hey crew, I finally saw Venom. It was really cool. Tom Hardy gave a pretty cool performance. Has anyone seen the sequel, and is it any good? Stephanie, I'm glad you found my DMs. Lol. I'm still learning new stuff about Facebook. Some online fans are venting that it's easier to just have Disney Plus and wait for Guardians of the Galaxy to stream there versus going to the theater. I'm really starting to think the day of the movie theater movie experience will be a thing of the past sooner than later. Your thoughts?" So I guess let's back up a little bit. Has anyone seen Venom or the sequel? Because I have seen neither.
I've seen the original. I've not seen the sequel.
Let There Be Carnage is kind of just more of the same with the first one.
Yeah,
if you have fun with that one, you'll probably enjoy Let There Be Carnage.
Because doesn't it have Woody
But as
Harrelson?
with the first Venom, it's not really a good adaptation of the comic. Yes, Woody Harrelson plays Cletus Cassidy.
Okay.
It's a fun, dumb action movie, but if you're trying to keep it in the context of this is what the comic is, it's not very good.
Yeah, I mean, even the first one was not very accurate to the comic.
No.
I mean, it was good.
Oh, and the mid-credit scene went literally nowhere. For the after credits,
for the-
whatever.
for the second, for Let There Be Carnage.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's annoying.
And then thoughts on the movie theater experience being a thing of the past.
I mean, a lot of movie theaters have been doing worse lately because of streaming services. But I think that's less to do with streaming services and more to do with that whole weird, like, couple of years where no one could go outside without wearing a mask, and a bunch of places were shut down. And what was going on with those 2 years?
Hey, something weird happened there. I remember something about that. But I will say
The plague?
I'm expecting a lot of movie theaters to do basically what the shopping mall has done. Like, the mall doesn't exist anymore, really, because, well, really, they were just 80s. It was ways to launder money and evade taxes in the 80s. It was really why shopping malls were ever even created in the first place. But they've all really changed their model, and they're doing stuff. If movie theaters don't really adapt, which some of them are trying to do, and they're doing it slowly and they're not doing it well. But unless they do adapt, we are probably going to see a serious downturn in the movie actually going industry. The problem is, I hope we don't, because there is a difference seeing a movie in a theater on a big screen. Even if you're by yourself, I will say that for some movies, they're way better if you have the full audience there too. But like even Guardians of the Galaxy 3, I am glad we went and saw that on a big screen, because with the immersive sound, with the giant screen, with it all there, it's a different experience than watching on your TV. It doesn't matter how good your in-home entertainment system is, it's never going to be the same as if there was a 60 by 30 wall of speakers pointed at you and bright lights shining in your retinas. It's just different.
And maybe that's also why Flounder was such a nightmare creature, because, you know, he was like the size of my fucking car
That could be understandable.
in my
It was
face
probably part of
But
it.
I will
with
say
lips.
the movie industry and the movie going industry is suffering, and something is going to need to change, or it's going to go away. And I actually really hope it doesn't, because there's just something about seeing something in the theaters. It's just different.
Crazy thought here, guys. They don't make the money on the tickets anyway. Just lower the fucking prices.
I think the ticket prices are set, aren't they?
The ticket prices are normally set by the studios so that they can make money off those things because and that's why they charge so much for fucking concessions.
Ugh.
Because the theater doesn't make any money off the tickets.
We spent fucking $80 when we went and saw The Little Mermaid.
How?
Because I've mentioned this before, but if we're gonna go to the movies, we're going to the Dolby Cinema because I want the immersive 3D ridiculous sound, and each of those tickets is $20. So 20 and 20, that's $40, and then we got food, and that was another $40 with tax. And 40 plus 40 is 80.
You did good math. Proud of you.
Thank you.
But yeah, something needs to change. Because I will say...
I regret nothing. Don't laugh at me.
Because there's a lot of movies that I'm like, I have no problem. I'll just watch it on a little one. I don't care. But shoot, when we just went to the theaters the other day, June 6th or June 7th, they'll be playing Raiders of the Lost Ark in the movie theaters. And I would go pay to see that movie in movie theaters because it's different.
It's a Fathom Events thing.
It fucking hits different.
I want to say that's actually sooner, but let me double check.
I think it's June 4th and June 7th. They're playing.
Okay, June
Sunday.
4th and June 7th. Got it. Yeah, I was looking at it. I think
they're playing on the Sunday and the Wednesday. Sorry, I was looking at it.
It's I think that's a little sooner. I don't want you to miss out on it. I was in some group chat last month. They were talking about the Return of the Jedi showing again in theaters, and how it was just about to start. It's like, no, that ended 2 days ago. What are you? That you can't do that now.
Yeah, I was sad that I missed that one because again, it's just something that there's something about seeing that on the big screen that just it's different.
If you want to do that, we should probably get those tickets.
It's not a big deal.
Stupid motherfucker.
Something I want to see. Not a big deal.
It's not a big deal. It costs too much money. It's not worth it. Again,
I don't think
that's why something needs to change.
I don't think the Fathom events cost the same as a normal.
That's why something needs to change.
It varies.
It does.
Yeah, so some stuff on Fathom events will be way fucking cheaper, and some stuff will be
$5
way
million.
more expensive. Yeah.
$1 million.
Yeah, if they actually.
If you go to see Shin Kamen Rider, it's probably not going to cost you that much.
Oh my god. Really quick. I don't know why you just reminded me of this. So one of the trailers that they played was for the Marvels. I don't really care about Captain Marvel. It's whatever to me. I did enjoy Miss Marvel. I thought that was a pretty good show. But I will go see this movie because I'm pretty sure there is an army of baby Flurkins, and I need this in my life.
Gotta love the brand synergy of releasing a movie with Miss Marvel as a main character and then killing her off in the comics right before it releases.
Oh, did they do that too? That's smart.
The next issue of Spider-Man's killing her off.
No, that's actually kind of smart. Because there'll be the controversy, and they're like, well, if I want to get more story, I'll finally go watch her in the movie, even though I hate Brie Larson because everybody hates her for some reason. I don't really understand it. But
Brie Larson. I have nothing against Brie Larson, except that she's allergic to cats. She's for real. She's super, super allergic, which is why in the first one, and probably in this one too, they had to be really careful how they did the shots with her and Goose. And anytime she even touched him, she had to immediately not touch her face and go wash her hands, or she would just die.
I feel like they could give her a shot or something.
Seems like there's other ways they could have done that other than panic washing someone every time they had to touch a cat.
I'm just telling you what she said in an interview.
Fake her fucking face on some other actor that has the same haircut or something. You really didn't need to expose her to something that could kill her.
She could have been
for the sake of her touching a cat.
She could have made it more dramatic. That's what she said in an interview I watched.
I feel like her suit had gloves too, didn't it?
I think this one does, but that happened before she got the whole suit.
I guess true. I don't know, but it's still
I just want the army of baby Flurkins.
It does look like a whole herd of kitties comes down a set of stairs at one point in time. I'm like, I hope those are all aliens because that would be fucking hilarious.
I want this. I want this in my life.
Yeah.
It's okay, Tom. We still love you. He's just being a sad panda now.
I'm just still mad about Indiana Jones is going to be a
keep it
fucking time
quiet.
travel movie.
What, Dial of Destiny?
Yeah.
Didn't they say that was just flashback sequence?
No, it's time travel.
Nobody knows.
It's time travel.
Anyway. Oh god, I'm hitting all the wrong things. Everything's
Oh,
fine.
cool. The Room's going to be showing again on June 27th.
The Room?
The Room, yeah.
Yeah, you know, the worst movie ever created.
The fuck is The Room?
There's a really great documentary that's one of the best movies ever about the making of that movie, than how bad it was.
Okie dokie then.
And 100%, The Room is still not the worst movie ever made. The worst movie ever made is Manos, The Hands of Fate.
That's fair.
Birdemic is up there, but Manos, The Hands of Fate is the worst movie ever made.
Well, that's gonna bring us to extra bits. Thomas, extra bits.
He wiggled. I don't know if that counts.
He is like in silent protest right now.
You trying to go mute on us here now?
Zachary.
Just keep my smart-ass comments to myself.
Zachary.
No, the smart ass comments I like. It's the dumb ass comments I don't.
Zachary.
Oh, is it my turn? All right, this might make you laugh, Tom. There was apparently basically a little like poll thing went out, and it's like what the people were commenting on the most unbelievable parts of Doctor Who.
Okay.
And this specifically comes from U.S. fans, but it's from the season 7 episode, The Angels Take Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
There is almost technically a throwaway scene in there. They're all sitting in Central Park reading, and Amy Pond is reading a newspaper, and it talks about Super Bowl champion Detroit Lions. And so everyone has agreed that that is the most unrealistic part of Doctor Who. In a show with time travel and aliens and monsters, the most unrealistic thing is that
The
the
Detroit
Detroit
Lions
Lions
winning
could
the
ever
Super
win a
Bowl.
Super Bowl because they are the only
Oh.
team to not only, in fact, have never won one, to have never played in one whatsoever.
That's fucking hilarious.
They barely even made the playoffs, but yeah, they have never even played in a Super Bowl game. And yeah, I'm just like, yep, that is definitely the most wildly unbelievable portion of Doctor Who. Yeah, that's
Peter,
it.
just so you know, once Ashley and Tom catch up to us, because we've already finished 13th Doctor, we're going to do a Doctor Who special. So,
Oh, y'all told me that before, that they
Yeah.
were trying to catch up for that.
yeah, they're on Capaldi right now. So
Oh, okay.
I'm just updating you because I don't know where you are.
We finally just finished.
I haven't watched it since halfway through Capaldi.
Yeah, we actually finished. We just finished up with
It's all on HBO Max, or just Max now.
Jodie Whittaker. Not Jodie
They
Whittaker.
made that
yeah.
interface so much worse. The new HBO Max thing.
I'm
They did.
I didn't really pay
not
attention.
commenting yet.
Because
It's
I
terrible
I
now.
clicked two buttons. I went me Doctor Who, yes.
Yeah, we got the we got the
Kept
thing like
adding up with your watch history.
yeah. No, we got
But
the
it's
we
so
got the
much shittier than it was.
yeah we got the note up that it said HBO Max is now just Max. Press OK to continue, and we're like okay. And then he goes, oh, are we gonna just sign in again? And he goes, no, here you are. We're like, okay, that was nice. All right, that was actually convenient.
Well, it made
Surprising
me sign in again on like everything.
that it didn't make us sign even like on our TV. It didn't make us sign in back in and again and all.
Maybe it's because we had recently been signed in.
But I will say that was the only thing that I'm like, well, that was nice. That was actually convenient in how this should have gone. Now
I
this
love
looks
that
weird.
Netflix waited to drop their new password sharing thing, like the day that launched too, so everyone would be pissed about HBO Max and not having to pay $8 to share your password on Netflix.
Hot.
Did they do that already?
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah, it's launched already.
We have the same Netflix. What does it matter?
It's still dumb though.
It's that one rule you have to log in on your Wi-Fi at least like once a month, and if you're gonna travel, you have to like notify them.
They can eat a dick.
Well,
You have to put in like a travel request to fucking Netflix.
hey, but that's
what?
what I'm saying is we're probably about to start having to pay an extra $8 a fucking month because we got some people using our stuff.
Who uses our stuff?
I use
Your
it.
dad?
Not really.
Yeah, but he has an account on there, and he has used it
You
somewhere
don't
else.
use my Netflix.
Yeah.
It really
I
doesn't
know,
take
I know
much
all
to
your
if he
I know
logs
all
in.
your passwords, even your Pornhub password.
Oh my god.
First of all, I don't have one of those because I would never pay for that. That's fucking
That was
bullshit.
kind
Yeah, because
of
it's
the
free.
That was the thing when we first started the podcast. We all just kind of started sharing passwords for whatever streaming service we had that the other didn't.
Yeah, I'm like, I know I gave you my
I mean,
password.
he's on at least one of them.
I was like, I'm sitting here going, I'm pretty sure you have your own Netflix, so I'm real confused.
I think you are on our Amazon Prime though, Tom.
No,
Mm-mm.
no, I have my own Amazon.
You have our Paramount, and you have something else.
I think I have the Paramount, yeah.
It's Paramount.
Did I give you Disney? No, you have Disney.
No, I have Disney.
Paramount was worth
I
it.
gave you another one though. I don't remember what it is.
Paramount has been worth it. They have a lot of good shit on
They
there.
have some solid shit on Paramount. I'm actually been pleasantly surprised, and actually some live sports on there that was nice too.
When it worked.
Yeah, you get some good football on there. Though, every now and then.
Unclear if it was Paramount Plus or my TV or I don't know. Anyway, my bet. I was scrolling the TikToks and I came across this, and
The toxic
actually
chick.
I specifically pulled this because Peter, it reminded me of you and it made me happy. It's called Vikings Have the Best Music, and it's a acapella group, and they're singing like a bunch of Viking songs, and it's just really cool, and I thought you would enjoy it.
Fair
all I
enough.
got
I'll
this
look
week.
at that.
Peter,
I like sea shanties more than
I
Viking
didn't
songs.
have anything prepared, but
what do you got?
they announced a new Red Dead Online event like a year after the last one was, and everyone thought the game was dead, kind of out of nowhere.
Woo!
And then there was that
I thought
one
that
dude
game was
got
dead.
real mad because he made like a penis robot in Tears of the Kingdom, and he said he ruined his immersion, but he's the one that made it. So why the fuck are you getting mad about it?
Wait, what?
Yeah, there's a dude that he made like a big robot that had like a
One of the
penis
penis
with a
robots.
Yeah.
flamethrower on it. And then he was getting mad the game let him do that, saying it ruined his immersion. But he's the one that did it.
The game shouldn't have let me do that. Just don't do it then. Take it apart. What do
Just
you,
don't do that ever again. Like,
blow it up. I don't. What do you want from me? That sounds like all your problems.
Do
or,
either of you
and all your
have
fault.
Apple TV?
No, fuck no.
I never use it. But there is that second season of that like dinosaur documentary thing that released, and I know Maddie's been wanting to watch it.
So there's a show on there called Mythic Quest, and it's just a ridiculous show about like video game developers.
It's got Rob. It's created
It-
by and written by
Same
Rob
people who did
McElhenney.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
But so there's this one part where
pretty fucking good.
the one developer Poppy, she like makes a shovel for the game so you can like dig stuff.
Well, no. I guess the Rob McElhenney's character wants a shovel in the game.
No, he doesn't want the shovel unless it can kill people.
He wants to murder people with a shovel.
And she's like, no, it's just for digging. He's like, can you even dig a dick with it? And she's like, no dicks. And it's like a whole thing, and yeah.
Yeah. He's like, it'll be dicks all the way down immediately. But she makes it. She programs it so you can't draw a dick with it.
And then like the one character that's like a streamer, and he's like playing the game. He's like, this shovel's so dumb. You can't even draw a dick with it.
It's great. It's dicks all the way down. It's always dicks.
If you get the chance, Peter, I think you'd enjoy it. It's called Mythic Quest.
Okay.
Thomas.
All I got is a funny video from like 4 years ago about a guy who's living on the third floor in an apartment and what he does. That's it.
That's it.
Oh, it's just the conglomeration of every shitty upstairs neighbor you've ever had, basically.
Yeah.
Nice.
What they do.
I go-
All those things they do for fun.
Yeah.
Like for some reason vacuuming at 3 a.m. and
Yeah.
I've never vacuumed at 3 in
And
the
being
morning.
on the phone while they're vacuuming at 3 o'clock in the morning.
and wearing high heel platform shoes. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
But I've always wondered if I was the shitty upstairs neighbor because my cats are assholes.
Oh, you've definitely been the shitty upstairs neighbor for sure.
In the apartment we're in, we've gotten, at least when we first moved in, we got a lot of noise complaints, and we assumed it was Valkyrie running around the apartment at night. So we started locking her up. Just recently, like everyone on this area got calls that there was some weird stomping going on at night, and they wanted to know what the hell was going on. Well, we're on the top floor, and we mentioned, yeah, we heard that too at like 3 a.m. Someone was stomping on like the roof or something. When we got down there, the lady was like, oh, we didn't mean to call you guys. We thought you were apartment 2001. So we explained, like, oh, we've gotten some noise complaints before. Apparently, those weren't even directed at us. So we've been locking Valkyrie in the bathroom every night for a year and a half for no goddamn reason.
Poor baby.
You overcorrected, Peter.
What was it?
If we had gotten another one, they were going to start charging us like an extra $25. It was just the neighbors below us being dicks. That was what the noise was.
Huh.
They thought we were apartment 2001 the whole time. So the complaints that were coming were supposed to be someone else.
That's so fucked.
So what apartment? Well, don't tell me what apartment you are. Somebody might find out. I don't need anybody figuring out where you live.
Just text the group.
Security is important.
That did confirm to us that we'd been losing our minds at like this 3 a.m. stomping coming from the roof. That no, kids are sneaking up on the roof. They found like footsteps and dirt and shit.
People are actually up on the roof.
Oh
like,
this is a really tall building. Y'all could die very easily.
Oh my god.
Is it bad that I kind of one of them does? They'll learn the fucking lesson then. All the other ones will learn the lesson.
Will they?
Risk versus reward.
We were talking about it earlier.
Tom.
Yeah, it might be cool to see this sunset off of the roof of your apartment building.
Tom.
That was Chef's Kiss, bringing that back around. That actually was.
Well, I know what I'm titling this episode.
Grazie.
Chef's kiss.
The new 8-Bit Cat Show usually comes out on Friday, except when it doesn't. Don't forget to like and subscribe, rate, review, comment, all the things! Zachary, where can the people find us?
Well, about every other Friday.
At this point, yeah.
Roughly.
We had a not so great last 2 months.
Yeah, we've been rough.
We did really good in
March was solid.
March.
April was really bad, and May was so-so. But
we only had like one episode in April, right? Like the very first week.
No, there are 0 episodes in April. Nothing released in April.
We're on vacation, okay? Damn.
We forgot the month of
An
April. April
extended-
Fools.
April, it was just one big April Fool's.
Yes,
right?
April Fools.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not canceled.
We're gonna stream April Fools.
You should have done that every week. You should have just uploaded like a 3-second video talking about how the show's over and canceled.
But anyway, they can find us literally everywhere because you've worked really hard to do that. Anywhere you'd like your anywhere you get your podcasts, the Tubes of You,
Even your mom's house.
the Ticks of Talk, the Witches of Tea. It's hard to say Twitch on that one. I don't know. We're only sort of on Twitch. The Grams of Instantly, and the Books of Faces.
Yes.
All of those things.
And until next time, my friends, geek out, be fabulous, and have fun.
Mr. Kitty. Mr. Kitty. All I want, one follow. That's it. Just one, okay? No, hey. It's okay. Just a follow. That's all I'm asking for. You just follow us on Patreon. You can listen to us on Audible. No, hey. Oh, damn it. Oh, hi, Mr. Kitty. So you came back? Oh, thank you for the follow. I definitely appreciate it. Now you're going to get all the specials. That's what you're going to get. Yes, you are. Okay, bye.